Few people I know have heard of the story All My Sons, a play written by Arthur Miller. This story is based on an article that Miller saw in a newspaper in Ohio that his mother-in-law pointed out to him. In this article, a corporation conspired with an Army inspection officer to approve defective aircraft engines. Later, 3 Air Force officers were convicted for neglect of duty. Miller used this story as a platform for the plot of his play. An amazing take on the play is the film noir released in 1948. Directed by Irving Reyes and starring Edward G. Robinson as Joe Keller, Burt Lancaster as Chris Keller, Louisa Horton as Ann Deaver, and Maddie Christians as Kate Keller. The scene for this movie is set in a small town somewhere in the United States. We see the movie open up to a beautiful, picturesque home. The use of setting and props in the movie are amazing. They do a perfect job of creating the facade of the perfect American family. In the first few scenes of the movie, we see different locations around the Keller home. In the first scene, the movie opens up to a beautiful backyard. Not only is the backyard beautiful, but it is huge and well furnished. As the scene continues, we enter the garage where there are 2 gorgeous cars parked, one of them being a convertible. In the next scene, we see the inside of the Keller home. The entire place is very well furnished with a stunning grand piano sitting in the foreground. Each of the sets and props, like the car, show the wealth that the Kellers have. The effect that just the scenery alone has on the plot is amazing. While the wealth of the Kellers is not explicitly discussed until much later in the movie, the use of the setting and props helps to create the effect of wealth on the plot. Contrast to the beautiful setting created by the filmmakers, the acting is definitely not up to par. While every once in a while the acting can be effective and good, majority of the acting seems over-dramatized, overly rehearsed, or just fake. One instance of this is when Anne first sees Joe again, and a few seconds later when Chris says, "You're a regular dog." In both of these instances, the actors just seem a little fake, not sincere, and not the best acting. The next main character to enter is Kate. Overall, Maddie Christians is not the best portrayal of Kate Keller. Kate is meant to be depicted as this loving, motherly figure trying to keep the family together. But she comes across as more of a standoffish, angry woman. And while this is perfect in some scenes, overall it is not the best and doesn't quite fit into all the scenes. The final and overall worst acting moment of the movie is when the Kellers and Anne go to dinner. In the scene, Miss Hamilton, a neighbor of the Kellers, comes to their table and yells, "Murderer!" at Joe. This moment is not only uncomfortable, it is just awkward. She is almost too dramatic and looks almost depressed.
Murderer! Joe! What's going on here?
She is almost too dramatic and looks almost depressed. Not only that, but the entire scene takes away from the hushed, building suspense around the plot. Rather than letting it continue to build, this break from the pseudo-calm takes away from the final climax at the end of the movie. Overall, the movie is neither the worst or the best portrayal of All My Sons by Arthur Miller. While the scenery and props are fantastic, the acting is up and down throughout the whole film. Taking all of this into account, I'd probably have to give the film a solid B-.